We all know that Hisui is filled to the brim with ancestors of famous Pokemon characters, such as Karen, Flint and Buck, and even Gordy and Acerola. However, in today's adventure, I'm not necessarily here to talk about ancestors found in Legends Arceus. I'm here to talk about the Descendant found in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, I totally understand if you have any upfront confusion when I say there is a Descendant in a game set so far in the past, especially when every other YouTuber is discussing potential ancestors found in the game. However, I think there is one person in this game that is both an ancestor and a descendant to people found in modern Pokemon games. But I'll quit confusing you now and explain. The man that I am referring to is the man in the murals, the person found in art in both Diamond and Pearl settlement houses. Now, for this lineage to be possible, we would need to know of people in modern games that share a family tree, and an extremely long one at that. So let's start by looking at the longest canonical family tree in the Pokemon world. That would be the family tree tied to Lysander. I will keep this part short and sweet, but for those that don't know, Lysander is the leader of Team Flare, the villainous team from the Kalos region games X, Y, and Z. Oh wait, just X and Y, I mean. Just on looks alone, an argument could be made that the man in the clan artwork is an ancestor to Lysander. Some could even argue that the stone pillar in the middle of the Diamond Settlement is meant to reference the stone monoliths in Geosinge Town, which later turn out to be pieces of the ultimate weapon Lysander is attempting to fire in X and Y. There is also the fact that the other two people referenced in the art at the settlements are Archie and Maxie, two other villains in the Pokemon franchise. Perhaps all three are meant to reference or even be ancestors to famous Pokemon villains. And yes, I do know what some people are going to say.
But SB, just a few weeks ago you said this man was possibly related to Alder.
Yes, I did say that. And for the people that want to make that argument, family trees have branches. You can be related to two people. Just play in this creative space with me for a few minutes, please. Anywho, that covers the basic part of how this man is an ancestor. But how is he a descendant? Well, Lysander is related to another very important character from the Kalos region, the oldest character in the Pokemon universe, King AZ. For those that don't know, AZ was a king of the Kalos region that built and used the ultimate weapon to end a great Pokemon war, in which his favorite flower died, but don't worry, he resurrected it. He was, however, affected by the ultimate weapon, and it caused him to become immortal, making him 3,000 years old during the events of the X and Y games. This long life has caused him to be in the middle of some amazing Pokemon lore, even outside the Kalos region, such as seeing Mega Rayquaza calm the battle between Primal Groudon and Kyogre in the Hoenn region. But AZ lore is the topic for another video, another day. Whether you believe Legends Arceus takes place 100, 500, or even 1,000 years ago, it does not hold a candle to the 3,000-year-old AZ. Now, it is known that AZ had a younger brother. This brother had a villainous streak of his own. I guess the applin doesn't fall far from the tree in this family. AZ's brother was hungry for wealth and power, and wanted to use the war in Kalos as a means to seize the region and the wealth for himself. However, after seeing how the war and the ultimate weapon ravaged the land, he saw the error in his ways and he buried his brother's weapon deep underground. Lysander is revealed in Pokemon X and Y to be the descendant of this brother of AZ, which explains how he discovers where the weapon is hidden in Geosinge Town, as it states that AZ's brother left the secret location of this weapon to his descendants. Now, we can see, especially by utilizing this oversimplified family tree skipping a crazy amount of generations that I made, that AZ and his brother could be ancestors to the man in the mural, who could be an ancestor of Lysander, making him both an ancestor and a descendant. But what suggests that this man is a descendant of AZ's brother? Well, allow me to theorize. After the war ravaged the land and the ultimate weapon destroyed what Kalos had become, it would make sense that many people left the region to find refuge in other regions that had not had its land and resources depleted by a war lasting literal years. It is completely plausible that the region he decided to run to is the Hisui region itself, to hide away from the dangers of war and abusing Pokemon and wealth. I find the less human civilization, the better when it comes to avoiding wars. It is also very likely that this man in the art is the ancient hero that the clans refer to that left both clans noble and ride Pokemon that they are to protect, tying the clans together and explaining why he is found in both settlements. Now, this ancient hero is told to have been able to calm 10 chosen Pokemon the last time they frenzied, which would have been quite a while back given that all the noble and ride Pokemon seen in Legends Arceus are descendants of the originals. To be able to accomplish such a feat, this ancient hero would likely need to have experience with quelling and befriending Pokemon and/or getting them to listen to his instructions, much like the people of Kalos were proven to do by legit having a full-on Pokemon war 3,000 years ago. Now, I don't quite think that the ancient hero is AZ's brother specifically, as that time frame seems a little long between the ancient hero and the events of Hisui, but I do think it could be his descendant who learned the art of taming Pokemon from AZ's brother himself. But theoretically, it could be AZ's brother, and perhaps the term ancient used to describe the hero is literally no joke, and he is much older than anyone found in the events of Legends Arceus. However, I think it's a little more likely that AZ's brother was already older by the time he arrived at Hisui, and probably did not have the lifespan left to travel, make somewhere to live in Hisui, and then be the ancient hero. Likely it was left to one of his descendants. The last point I want to make is covering how Lysanders Family is found back in Kalos rather than being located in Sinnoh. It is likely that after they rebuilt Kalos from the devastation of the war, AZ's brother's family returned to their homeland to fulfill their familial duty to pass down the location of the ultimate weapon and keep it safe from human use, due to the once again stable human population in Kalos, until Lysander just used that info for bad boy stuff anyway, so what was the point, I guess? This part of the theory also explains why outside of tales and the art from the camps, there are no traces of this ancient hero. No descendants, no artifacts, no anything. It's because he or his children realized their duty in Hisui had been finished and went back to Kalos to fulfill their task given by AZ's brother, their ancestor. Now, I know there was a lot thrown at you in this video, so let's summarize. 3,000 years ago, Kalos was in a great war. To end the war and get vengeance for his Floette's death, the King AZ made the ultimate weapon and fired it on Kalos. This ravaged the land and caused mass casualties and damage, ultimately ending the war. Seeing this, the king's younger brother, who wanted to use the war for personal gain, realized he was wrong and left to go somewhere that wasn't so war-torn after burying his brother's dangerous weapon, eventually arriving in the land of Hisui. He had descendants and taught them how to work with Pokemon like the people of Kalos, and shared with them the location of the ultimate weapon. Then one of those descendants became the ancient hero that we see in the settlements of Diamond and Pearl clans. This ancient hero tamed the 5 noble and 5 ride Pokemon of Hisui to end their frenzy and used them to battle against the almighty unknown, which could be Arceus or Giratina, but it is likely Arceus. Upon completion of this task, he charged the Diamond and Pearl clan leaders, likely Maxie and Archie's ancestors, watch Hoop and Hip Hop's video in the description to learn more about that, with watching over the 10 chosen Pokemon and keeping their lineage alive. With his task accomplished and with Kalos likely rebuilt from the war, he or his descendants likely went back to his family's home region, Kalos, to guard the knowledge of where the ultimate weapon was buried and make sure humans didn't abuse its power. Generations later, his descendants gave birth to the most dangerous man in Kalos history, Lysander, who used the familial knowledge of the ultimate weapon to attempt to cleanse the world. This makes the ancient hero not only Lysander's ancestor, but also a descendant of AZ's brother. This game has caused a lot of people to think up and realize amazing theories and Pokemon lore, and there is so much more of these to cover. Such as, was Kamado's wife a descendant of the displaced Kalos people from the war? Is this the original red chain around the ancient hero's neck? Do Irida and Adaman create one of the most prominent families in Pokemon history? Theories like these and more covered right here on my channel, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more great content. Finally, the comment of the week comes from Wayne. I really enjoyed getting to add some cool Pokemon to the Ice type's exclusive population, and I definitely tried to come up with some fun lore for the Fakemon. Glad you enjoyed it as much as I did, and your comments are super appreciated by me and the amazing artist, Elio. But that will do it for us this week. If you like theory videos like this one, then check out this video on champions with ties to the Hisui region, and I will catch you next time when the adventure continues.